The devastating reality of famine has now gripped two more regions in Sudan, marking a dire escalation in what is already the world's largest humanitarian crisis. But here's where it gets even more heartbreaking. One of these areas is El-Fasher, a major city in Darfur, where paramilitary forces have been wreaking havoc, leaving tens of thousands of people cut off from essential supplies. The other is Kadugli, a town in South Kordofan, equally besieged and desperate. This grim update comes from the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, IPC, the global authority on hunger crises, which warns that 20 more areas in Darfur and Kordofan are teetering on the brink of famine. And this is the part most people miss. Famine isn't just about hunger. It's a catastrophic collapse of livelihoods, marked by starvation, extreme malnutrition, and death. In El-Fasher, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, have laid siege for 18 months, recently seizing the city and reportedly unleashing violence that has killed hundreds. Kadugli, too, has been under RSF control for months, trapping tens of thousands in a desperate struggle for survival. The IPC's criteria for declaring famine are stark. At least 2 deaths per 10,000 people, or 4 children under 5, from malnutrition-related causes. 1 in 5 households facing starvation, and 30% of children under 5 acutely malnourished. Since April 2023, Sudan's war has claimed over 40,000 lives, according to the UN, though aid groups suspect the true toll is far higher. More than 14 million people have been displaced, and disease outbreaks are rampant. The IPC's latest report describes El-Fasher and Kadugli as experiencing a total collapse of livelihoods, with malnutrition and death rampant. But here's the controversial part. While the IPC has only confirmed famine a handful of times, most recently in Gaza, Somalia, and South Sudan, Sudan's crisis has been met with limited global attention. Why is this crisis not sparking the same outcry as others? As of September, 375,000 people in Darfur and Kordofan were in famine conditions, with another 6.3 million across Sudan facing extreme hunger. Thousands have fled El-Fasher, seeking refuge in nearby towns like Tawila, where aid workers report catastrophic levels of malnutrition. Doctors Without Borders found that 70 children under 5 arriving on one day were all acutely malnourished, with 57% in severe condition. Survivors describe scavenging for animal fodder to survive during the siege. Here's where it gets even more complex. Since Sudan's military regained control of the capital Khartoum, the RSF has shifted its focus to Darfur and Kordofan, aiming to secure supply lines. Towns like Dilling are also on the brink, but lack of data has prevented an official famine declaration. Meanwhile, 21 million Sudanese, 45% of the population, faced acute food insecurity as of September, a slight drop from earlier this year due to reduced conflict in some areas. The IPC's solution is clear. A ceasefire is the only way to prevent further loss of life and contain this crisis. But will the world listen? What do you think? Is enough being done to address Sudan's famine? Or is this crisis being overlooked? Share your thoughts in the comments.